Hey there, Veteran Nation fans. I'm driving right now. I'm not going to look at the camera too much because got to keep my eyes on the road. But I'm just going to record this and some of my thoughts as I'm going. A lot of talk about the new mayor of New York, and one of his big ideas is to have what's the word? To have government-run grocery stores. And I understand why he's doing it, because a lot of grocery stores in some areas, they don't carry a lot of healthy options, if there's one at all. And a lot of the reason that there isn't one is due to theft most times. But the idea of government-run grocery stores in general is a bad idea. And I'll give you an example. We actually already have them. We have the exchanges and the commissaries. And much like things with the VA, they're very hit and miss. Obviously, the exchanges and the commissary are run by the DOD, but they're supposed to be for profit, meaning they are supposed to make money, but low profit. And what you find is many times they do not. And the reason they do not is because the exchanges. I'll just give you an example. My exchange. At my exchange, they sell fishing equipment. This is the desert. There's nowhere to fish here. But they sell fishing equipment because someone in D.C. who made the decision said, oh, fishing equipment sells more than dirt bike stuff. And across the country, that is absolutely true. However, here, you're going to find less people buying fishing equipment. Only those buying it are going to be those who are going on a fishing trip. But yet, out here, there's plenty of places to go dirt bike riding. Lots of off-road. Like anything off-road out here is going to sell well to the young Marines. But the decisions are not made here. They're made in D.C. So these are people who are career government employees their whole lives. A lot of them are former military and just walked right into the GS system. They've never had to make money. So they don't know how to make a profit. They don't know how to structure things to make a profit. And people who come in and work at the exchanges and commissaries from the private sector, they just lose their mind. They're like, I cannot believe these are the decisions. Like, these decisions do not make sense. And it's because they rely on tax money or money coming from other sources of revenue, like selling uniforms. You know, you're only going to sell uniforms on base to people who need uniforms. So that's going to be a big seller. But this is the problem. And, you know, even though, you know, these are places and people and things that, you know, the military needs a commissary. It needs an exchange. But there's still people who, they're like, I don't go to the commissary because they never have what I need. Like, and I'll tell you, my commissary, it's got a pretty good selection. But I'll tell you what I will not buy there is meat. They get the worst cuts of meat. Like, it's all fat and unusable. I have to go out in town to buy meat. I get better meat at Dollar General. So that's why the commissaries are struggling. No one there, like, people, this doesn't sell. And they're like, well, we still have to buy X amount of it. So then it goes on clearance or gets tossed. It's so much waste. And, you know, it's just because they don't have decision makers who've actually worked or ran a for-profit business. So that's what's going to happen in New York City when they put in these government grocery stores. First off, they're going to have to deal with a ton of theft, because they're going to go in, you know, not so great areas, and that's going to cost taxpayers lots of extra money. And then you're going to get people who are, you know, like, it's not going to be, I guarantee you it's going to be mismanaged, because government doesn't ever do anything efficiently at all. The only thing I think government ever does well is the military, but even that is not done efficiently. It's done with an end mission in mind. And, always across the board with government, the answer is, oh, we'll throw more money at this problem, thinking that that's going to be some type of solution. Rarely ever is. So I don't see, with this new mayor in New York, I don't see this being successful at all. I think this is going to be another boondoggle. It's just more of these socialistic policies that are getting forced upon people to solve a problem that, you're never going to solve. You can't social engineer behavior out of people. You can social engineer reactions to the people, but that's about it. But I don't know why the left hasn't learned this, that, a lot of their solutions just create more problems. And eventually the solution just ends up being, well, we'll throw more taxpayer money at this problem, and it doesn't solve the problem, and now you've just wasted a bunch of taxpayer money. That's the way I see this going. It's New York. I've got no dog in the fight for New York. I'm like, oh, you go right ahead. This is the type of things that California does that routinely fail, and California has a $12 billion budget deficit. $12 billion. That is not sustainable. Even if you have, we've got the fourth highest GDP in the world, or whatever that number is that they like to tout, it doesn't matter. If you can't, at the end of the day, if you can't balance your books, it doesn't matter how much money you're bringing in. Talk to any business about that. You might be able to fake the funk for a little bit, but all you're doing is building a house of cards that's going to come crashing down. And that's exactly how I see that happening. We'll see. Here's a dummy riding a bike opposite of traffic. You're supposed to ride your bike with traffic. You are a vehicle on the road. You're supposed to walk opposite of traffic. And that's because walking, if you see the car coming and they're coming off the road at you, you have a chance to react. With a bicycle, though, that's considered a vehicle, and you have a right to the road. But don't know why that guy is riding opposite of traffic. Seems really stupid to me. But the insanity of what happens. But all right, guys, I'm going to let you go. I just wanted to come on here and say that. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.